According to the text, time management means organizing and sequencing tasks so they are accomplished in an efficient manner. Having good time management skills enables you to better succeed, make better decisions, and feel more in control. As a surgical technologist, it is important for me to develop and maintain specific work habits in order to be efficient in my work. For instance, when an emergency heart comes through the door, I need to know exactly what I will need first before anything else. I can prepare for a situation like this by making it a habit to always have things like my knife blade loaded and sternal saw ready in case the patient crashes. I always set up my tables, instruments, and supplies the same way every single time. That way I am prepared and can calmly and quickly set up as usual when an emergency comes in. The textbook states, effective employees establish efficient work patterns, but no two employees necessarily follow the same pattern. This is especially true in the operating room environment. Other technologists have their own habits and way of setting up for surgery that I don't necessarily follow. However, it is very important that all of us can be thrown into an emergent situation and be able to manage our time efficiently to help the patient. Um, I always hear coworkers say work smarter, not harder. And this could be interpreted in many ways depending on the job being performed. As a surgical technologist, I think of this phrase in reference to the number of movements I must make to set up for a surgery to be completed. When setting up for a heart, I have 2 back table setups, 2 Mayo stands, 2 basin sets. And this setup is probably around 20 to 30 feet wide. So if I'm not habitual and efficient with my movements, the setup will take me a lot longer than it needs to. For a routine scheduled heart operation, it takes me about an hour to set this whole thing up. This hour-long setup includes everything for the operation, the entire case, and being ready to go from having everything ready to go from the start. And by developing and establishing my own efficient work pattern, I am able to have a minimal setup ready to go within about 15 minutes or less, which would be enough time to set up to get the procedure started in an emergency. Another time management skill is preparing in advance. In the article Time Management Strategies for Nurse Leaders by Christy S. Chunta, she states that effective time management begins by planning ahead, so prepare for the next day by starting the night before. It helps at work when I am able to prepare an operating suite for the next day, which is sometimes not always the case. We can't do that every day if there's a case already going when it's time to go home. If I am on call or I know I'm about to, if I am scheduled to do a heart in the morning, I try to arrange my tables, Mayo stands, and fluid warmer exactly where I will need them when I arrive. The circulating nurse also will often make the operating table with the appropriate linens and get her things like her prep solutions and her Foley kit gathered for the next day. It makes the next morning or the inevitable midnight emergency go a lot smoother when we don't have to worry about making sure our equipment is in the room and having to rearrange it all in a hurry. In my school and personal life, I can apply this strategy of preparing in advance in many ways. For instance, I keep a planner with my work schedule, homework assignments, and doctor's appointments documented so I can easily glance and see what I need to accomplish ahead of time. Sometimes I write things down that need to be accomplished each day, and other times I just have written in the monthly notes section what I need to tend to at some point during the month. If I don't write something down, I almost always forget to do it, especially right now with my pregnancy brain. Preparing in advance is also helpful in being ready for labor and delivery. I can prepare in advance by packing a go bag for the hospital that includes extra toiletries, a phone charger, and the baby's going home outfit. I know if I waited until the last minute, I would be adding extra things I wouldn't need and forgetting something truly necessary, such as extra contact solution and my glasses. I also read articles in my free time in order to educate myself of the process of birth. That way I can ease my mind and stress less about what I can expect to happen and when. I'm out of breath a little bit because baby's pressing on my diaphragm right now. Um, I have also been busy preparing in advance by reading ahead in my textbook and preparing for assignments whenever I get the opportunity, just in case I go into labor a couple weeks early. This will ease my stress closer to the time of my due date and ensure that I won't fail my final class that I need for my degree at the last second. Um, Learning to control and manage your time helps eliminate extra stress. You are more prepared and ready for your tasks or for situations that you may not be expecting. Having control over your time helps you to better be able to make decisions and prioritize what needs to be done in order to meet a deadline.